What is going on, guys? Jack here, and welcome back to episode 7 of our Liverpool FC playthrough here in Football Manager 2018, and today, it's another big game for us, and it's a game where I'm hoping to God we can actually get a win, because we have not had the best form in the league against the big guns, which is a little unlike Liverpool in real life. Of course, last season, kind of renowned for the fact that they were getting results against the top four but slipped up against everyone else. But yes, today we take on Arsenal. As you can see, looking at the league table, we are top, they are second, and quite curiously actually, if we just look at the Premier League table quickly, everyone's slipping up against everyone. There's not really been a runaway team. Yes, we are top of the league with 30 points. Yes, we are 4 points clear. But, yeah, I mean, we've only won 10 of 14 and we've actually lost 4 games. It just feels like everyone is beating everyone else, which is kind of nice, I guess, from the perspective of a competitive league. But it does mean that it's a little bit frustrating, because you almost feel like you could be a little bit further ahead of the pile, particularly if we'd avoided defeats against West Brom and Huddersfield away from home. Anyway, you can see here just in terms of general player stats, Firmino, only 1 goal since the last episode. He is second in the goal scoring charts. Arsenal, they have got Ozil with a load of assists, and I did notice that they are going to be without Lacazette for today's game. Anyway, since the last episode, 3 games to talk about real quick. The first of which was in the Champions League. It was against Juventus, and it was I was going to say convincing win. It should have been a convincing win. It was a 3-2 result in the end. We were actually 3-0 up in this game, with Seri scoring the 3rd goal in the 68th minute. We were largely on top in the game up until that point. We'd been playing really well. It was all just going, perfectly. You really couldn't ask for anything else. Firmino did end up getting man of the match. But, we almost bottled it. Higuain and Douglas Costa with the goals for Juventus. Either side of, the 80th minute, and they then had a goal disallowed for being offside. It could have been 3-3. Actually, if it had been 3-3, it wouldn't have been the worst result in the world. For us, it would have still guaranteed ourselves a spot in the knockout stages. But if we just do quickly take a look at the group stage here, and our group, which, if I'm not mistaken, is Group G, you can see here that we are top of the league, 15 points from 5 games. Unbeaten, plus 10 goal difference is absolutely fantastic. We play Atletico in our last game of the group stage, but it doesn't have any bearing on where we're going to finish. We are going to finish top of the group, so that is really good to see, because honestly, when we got drawn in this group, I was pretty worried. Obviously, you saw the live comms against the likes of Juventus and Atletico previously. They definitely settled my nerves, but nevertheless, always good to secure a safe passage through to the knockout stage with a game in hand. Anyway, since then, 2 league games. Good to see us get clean sheets in these games. The first was against Brighton, a heavily rotated side around comfortable victors. Danny Sturridge and Wijnaldum with the goals. Danny Sturridge has been requesting to play more first-team football. I've kind of told him that Firmino's in the form of his life and that he's going to have to wait. But it was good to see him take his opportunity here, although when we get into the next game, he didn't take the opportunities that came his way. But yes, Wijnaldum with the player of the match. Obviously, Brighton, newly promoted, a team that we do have a vested interest in, because of the fact that if they stay up, we get £7.5 million. But yeah, good win. Anyway, the next game we had was against Brighton. Against Brighton. We just talked about the Brighton game. It was against Watford. Watford, a team who I'm sure some of you are going to say they're a bit too good in Football Manager at the moment. It's hard to disagree sometimes when you see some people's tables of them being in the Champions League spots. But of course, they are going well in real life. And here in Football Manager, it was a relatively comfortable result. We ran out 2-0 victors. Danny Sturridge came on off the bench to waste 2 or 3 clear-cut chances, which is always good. And we could have had significantly more in this game. I think we had like 6 clear-cut chances. It was a rout. It should have been a rout. The scoreline perhaps didn't reflect just how much one-way traffic it was. But nevertheless, 3 good wins there, and kind of our counter-attacking plan of breaking away with pace worked wonders. Today we do take on Arsenal at home, of course. Last episode we took on Chelsea away. Prior to that we took on Man City at home and lost, so our record against the kind of quote-unquote big teams in England isn't looking so great at the moment. We do have Spurs to play soon, however they are way off the pace. I think next episode we'll be taking on United, but yeah, you can see here 4 teams in a 4-way tie for second place on 26 points, including Leicester, so that they're trying to have another Ranieri season, it would seem. But anyway, in terms of just general team news, not a whole lot going on. Jimmy Milner, still not had any offers for him, still looking to move away. You can see here we've got plenty of teams who are interested in our players. We've not had any bids yet. I really don't want to sell these players if I can avoid it. which, well, I'm hoping we will be able to avoid. In terms of recent kind of top performers, Salah's been playing very well indeed. You can see here a 7.64 average rating for the Egyptian winger, playing out on that right-hand side, cutting in on his left peg. Yeah, he's been really adapting well to the inside forward role. Firmino, obviously going strong. You can see here, 8 goals in 12 Premier League games for him. He's also got 3 in the Champions League. And yeah, he just really turned into a critical goal scorer for us. But before we do get into today's game, guys, I do want to quickly make a board request. I thought I'd wait until we're live to do this. I don't know if they're going to be granted or not, but I do want to ask the board if we can maybe have a little bit more transfer and wage budget for January. Of course, we are now entering the start of December. It'd be nice to get our budgets increased if we can. And, well, to start things off, we're going to get the wage budget increased. What was the wage budget increased to? Okay, 3 million basically. Now our wage budget was slightly negative, so that's a quite hefty increase there. I am also going to request the transfer budget. Currently we have just shy of 13 million to spend, but we have a lot of money in the bank at the club, so I'm hoping that we can do it. I'm going to try and emphasise the fact that our rivals are on our heels. Unfortunately, we're not going to get that one, but still the wage budget increase is good. I probably, to be honest, should be looking at players who are going to be available as an approach to sign players in January. If you don't know, of course, players outside of England, if you're an English club, if you're in other countries, I think the rules are slightly different. But when they have 6 months left on their contract, you can approach to sign them. So if we look here at players who have contracts expiring in a year, you can see there's a fairly few high-profile players, obviously a few older players. I am actually just kind of wondering, has Sanchez signed a new contract potentially at Arsenal? Let's just have a quick look. I mean, I assume he has, unless they've sold him, which would be a little odd. If we look at Sanchez here, no, his contract is still set to expire in a year. Would I want to sign Alexis Sanchez on a free? It'd be tempting, wouldn't it? Let's be honest. But yeah, there's some players here that I probably should be keeping an eye on. Even the likes of Goretzka at Schalke would be a really good addition. Obviously, we do have like loads of midfield talent, but you can always add a few more to it, and he's only 22. So yeah, it's probably worth me scouting a load of these players, just getting a good feel for who might be available as a free transfer. It doesn't look like there's a load of standout players. But you never know. There's always a few diamonds in the rough to find. And in fact, if we just turn off unrealistic transfers, yeah, there's a few here that we maybe should be taking a look at. Other than that, though, there's not been a whole lot going on at the club. Of course, we are entering the Christmas period of the season. There's going to be fixtures coming thick and fast. Rotation is going to be important. One thing that I've been finding myself doing more and more is resting players between games. If you're not doing this in your own saves, I strongly recommend you do it. You can just hold shift to select a big list of players, and then you can right-click, training, rest, and then select the amount of days. It's definitely helping. The AI teams don't seem to do the resting, and it's really important. I mean, you can see here we played a midweek game, but our team is just about fully rested. Whereas if we look at Arsenal's team here, you can see they really are struggling for fitness, and it's going to be a bit of a risk to start some of these players, you imagine. Worth noting, as I said, they're out without Lacazette, torn hamstring, out for a long while yet. So Arsenal doing very well at the moment to be ahead of United in second place. But anyway, let's get into today's game. In terms of how we're going to line up, we're going to go with the 4-3-3. Not changed any of the instructions as of late. Of course, last episode I did mention we have kind of stopped playing quite so narrow. But in terms of the actual lineup for today's game, the only player we're really missing who it would have been nice to have back is Jordan Henderson. He is currently out injured, of course. He got injured with his twisted ankle against Chelsea, if I'm not mistaken. And, well, other than that, the injuries have actually really eased up. You can see here, Nathaniel Klein's still kind of in his rehabilitation phase, but he will be available soon, which is good to see, although he's not going to be able to be registered until Christmas, or rather the new year after Christmas, which is a little bit of a shame. Lallana as well, still kind of getting back to full fitness. But generally speaking, you know, the team is in very good shape going into today's game. I'm just hoping we can give a much improved performance. That's going to be the real kind of challenge, I think. In terms of how they're going to line up Arsenal, they're actually going to go with the Chelsea system that we faced last time out. It'll be interesting to see if it was a matter of personnel or systems that meant that tactic did fairly well against us. Of course, against Chelsea, it wasn't the worst result to lose 1-0 away from home, but this is the kind of game where we do need to win it, especially if we want to be fighting for the title at the end of the year. This is going to be absolutely critical. Trying to relax the players into this game a little bit. To be honest, it's not really worked. Although we did manage to get a good reaction out of Firmino. So that's something, right? Going into the tunnel, we're going to get asked a few questions. Do we think that our ambitions are matched by the chairman? I guess this is in response to the fact he rejected our request for more money. I'm not sure how that's leaked out. I'm not too happy. But yeah, we'll see how we get on here. As the interviewer kind of implied there, both teams are going to be fairly tired going into this game, you know. Coming off the back of a fairly hefty set of fixtures. We will have a look at the Arsenal fitness, obviously, between highlights here. You can see they are rotating the team a little bit. Koscielny struggling, Bellerin and Kasalin, I can never say his name. This guy here, Kolasinac, they are struggling a little bit, as are both centre mids. Their wing-backs and centre mids struggling for fitness is going to be, I think, fairly detrimental to Arsenal's system here. They are a big part of it. And that's probably going to work in our favour as Salah finds himself in behind. Can he finish it? He can't. Ospina with the save. Is Check out injured? Or have they dropped Check? Interesting either way. Ospina in goal. Callum Chambers also at centre-back is a little bit interesting. The rest of the team isn't too odd though for Arsenal. And well, Alexis Sanchez, edge of the box, coming inside. Can we stop him from getting the cross in? That's got to be the challenge. Whips it in. Is that an own goal by Emre Can? Nope, Giroud's been given it. I mean, it's not a worldie by Giroud, by his standards, but he has found the back of the net. The near-post header, you can see, looking at the stats early on, it's Arsenal's first shot of the game. They have had slightly more of the ball. Of course, we did squander that clear-cut chance by Salah. Sanchez here, 3 men pushing him. Really, he shouldn't even be allowed to get in the cross. Emre Can should have gone with his head. Giroud did go with his head, and he found the back of the net as a result. And well, you can see here, early on, we have had the better of the play in terms of raw shots, but we find ourselves a goal down. That set piece really isn't working in our favour. But yeah, looking at it here, you can see Xhaka. I mean, they are struggling. I am confident that as this game goes on, it's going to kind of swing in our way. I mean, we are having way more shots than them. You'd have to say we've probably been on top based off just stats alone, but let's see if we can make something happen here. Seri gets dispossessed. Can Emre Can get it? He can. Coutinho. Could he unleash a world? He threads in Mane, who smashes it over. No, into Ospina's hands. I don't know if it's just me. Sometimes I have a real issue following the ball in 3D. Sometimes the lighting just seems particularly bad. It's not great in this game here. It's still fairly readable, but yeah, you can just lose the ball sometimes. In previous FMs, I used to retexture the ball bright white, but because of the new graphics engine and the new way all the graphic elements are packaged in FM, I can't change the texture of the ball very easily, at least in the beta, which is a bit of a shame because, as I said, yeah, it's just a little bit difficult to read. Although, I must admit, I am kind of loving the 3D this year. Oh my gosh, Salah, what have you done? It's a howler. It's an absolute howler by Arsenal. I was not expecting that to lead to a goal. Ospina, and was that Koscielny with the ball? Mertesacker, you can see they're just passing it around the back here. Bellerin to Ospina. I don't know if Koscielny's just not expecting it. Salah, obviously, absolutely rapid, punishes that mistake, slots it away. It's the kind of goal where, when it goes against you in FM, you curse, you swear, you blame the game. I'm not going to do either of those things. I'm just going to say thank you, FM. Thank you for that gift of a goal. Thank you, Arsenal. And we have been by far and away the better team in this game. We need to create a little bit more in the way of clearer cut chances. Maybe we can get our noses in ahead here. Firmino, Mane, back to Bobby. Gets dispossessed. Great tackle though. Unfortunately, it just goes straight to Ozil. De Vrij though wins that aerial battle against Giroud. And it's to Salah, who has space in behind. Crosses it in. Firmino, interesting pass. I don't know why he didn't shoot, but it doesn't matter. We found the back of the net. We're 2-1 up. We've turned it around here. And yeah, questionable decision, I think, by Firmino to lay it back to Seri, if that was indeed a pass. But nice build-up play. Salah is getting a lot of space out wide, kind of getting in behind Kolasinac. And yeah, in the end, I mean, Firmino has been given the assist for the back heel there. It looked like Seri had a shot that deflected off him. But, well, nevertheless, we find ourselves ahead. And could we get another before half-time? Is that greedy to want more? Probably is, but I'm going to ask for it nevertheless. Moreno, loads of space to run into, whips it in. Mertesacker, only as far as Coutinho, the goal scorer. Joe Gomez to Emre Can, recycling possession from deep here. Can we find a pass out wide? We can. Joe Gomez, option down the line in Salah, you'd imagine, although he might just go alone. No one closing him down, whips in the ball of quality. Firmino can't quite get there. To Seri, Coutinho, could he double his tally? He can't this time, he smashes it wide of the post, but good sustained pressure by us here. We are by far and away the better team in this game. Arsenal, they've had that one shot on target that went in. Xhaka has had to go off for Coquelin. I don't know if that was an enforced change through injury. But, it's a great first half. I'm very happy, boys. Keep it up. Coutinho playing very well. Good to see him get on the score sheet because Coutinho, obviously, a hugely influential player for Liverpool in real life. For us, he's not contributed a whole load of goals. I think that's his second of the season. But nevertheless, still, good to see him get on the scoring kind of charts today from that edge of the box effort. Obviously, in his current role, you don't necessarily expect him to contribute a whole lot in terms of goals, but he's got a few to his name. And, well, could he get another to his name? Salah, Joe Gomez, crosses it in. Only as far as Salah, that clearance was poor. Seri, Coutinho's there. Could he hit it? Narrowly wide again. He's having a few of these long shots. They are not far away from the target either, you'd have to say. Right now, Coutinho running the show on an 8.2 rating. Alex Iwobi's been brought on for Danny Welbeck. In fact, Arsenal have made all their subs now. And we're only an hour into this game. You can see, looking at their kind of defence, they are tiring a lot. Bellerin and Kolasinac down to 60% competition. Koscielny also struggling. Emre Can for us is looking a little worse for wear. I think we'll take him off. I think we'll bring in Wijnaldum for him and then drop Seri to deep line playmaker. But no, you'd have to say we've been pretty good so far this game. I'm also going to make a change. I'm going to bring in Oxlade-Chamberlain against his former club. Hopefully that's going to rile him up a little bit and give him the motivation he needs. Getting some fresh legs on the wing is going to be particularly good on this left-hand side, taking on Bellerin, who is struggling for fitness. I think there's going to be room to exploit there. And you can see here, actually, Arsenal changing system. They've gone to the 4-2-3-1, which is a system that in some games we've really struggled against. In others, we've heavily punished teams who have played it. Coutinho, I mean, if he'd scored every long shot he'd had today, he'd have a lot of goals. Unfortunately, it's another one that goes over the crossbar. And whilst we have been playing well in this game, we've got to remember it's still only 2-1, and these long shots are chances being wasted, particularly when we're not even hitting the target. Firmino here, breaking through though. Can he finish? No. No, he can't. We've had 4 clear-cut chances. I mean, if Arsenal now go up the other end and score in the last 10 minutes, we are going to look on this as a game that we should have won comfortably. We have got a chance here. Seri whips it in. Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain hits it over the crossbar again. He's desperate for that goal against his former club. We are peppering their goal right now. But you have got that horrible feeling, is it just going to be one of those days? Is it just going to be one of those games where they get a late equaliser? I'm going to bring in Dolberg with our last sub, just get, some fresh legs on in the striker position, just to end the game. Firmino didn't have the greatest game by any means. He did get that 1 assist, of course. But, well, it looks like, I don't want to speak too soon, I was about to say, it looks like we're going to get the result here, but let's just hold off for 1 second. Joe Gomez, what a tackle that is. That should be game over. What a performance that has been by us. A 2-1 victory. It could have been significantly more. If there were any doubts over our title credentials, we have got rid of those doubts right here, right now. Arsenal's second in the league. They were dominated in this game. It should have been so many more. Obviously, fantastic home performance. I'm very happy with that, boys. I'm happy. I'm not, 100% content just because it felt like we should have done a hell of a lot more. Emre Can performing well. Worth noting, actually, I don't think I've talked about this. I'm training Emre Can to play centre-back because he'd actually be a pretty good ball-playing centre-back, and he offers a bit of, cover there as well. Anyway, Wijnaldum close to hitting a kind of clause in a contract that means we have to pay out. Looking at it here, it looks like a lot of other teams haven't played yet. So we'll hit continue. We'll see these games come in over the weekend because obviously these results are going to be fairly significant to us. I'm hoping that the likes of United, Leicester, Chelsea are all going to slip up. Obviously, it never quite works out exactly how you'd like it to, does it? Let's be honest. If we just look at the Premier League here, you can see Tottenham lost to Burnley, United won, Chelsea won, Everton lost, City are going to be playing late today. We'll see how they get on. I think Leicester must be playing on the Sunday, but I'm not so worried about them. Really, it's about seeing if City can slip up for us. That would be ideal. And they have slipped up. They've lost 3-2 against West Ham. So with those results, we go 4 points ahead of United, 5 points ahead of Chelsea, and well, there's a little bit of a cushion emerging onto Arsenal, who are now 7 points behind us after 15 games. Anyway, guys, in terms of when we'll be back next episode, I think it'll be for the... Do I want to do the Merseyside derby, or do I want to do the game against United? We'll do the game against United just because it's going to have more on the line. Obviously, if we get towards the end of the season and there's a load of, highly significant fixtures, we may end up live commentating both of the home kind of rivalry games at the end of the season. But no, we'll do the United game next. Hopefully you guys did enjoy today's episode. Obviously, good little result for us. Convincing performance, which is always good to see. Hopefully we can build on that now going into a slightly tricky run of games, but a lot of Premier League games coming, perhaps a chance for us to kind of find our feet and, you know, really truly test and see if we are kind of title challengers for this season. Anyway, that's all from me, guys. Hopefully you've enjoyed. Leave a like if you have. If you're new around here, subscribe. And other than that, it's me, Jack, and I'll talk to you guys in a bit. I'm out.